Hi, I'm drummer Snappy Smith, and welcome to Lesson 5 of the Couch Series. You and me on a couch with a practice pad, going over those great lessons and exercises as taught to me by Freddie Gruber. And in lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4, we went over the Buddy Rich book exercises, but starting with lesson 5 now, I'm going to be starting with the finger control book by Burns and Malin. And this lesson will be focusing mainly on what's called no bounce exercises, which are designed to develop your fulcrum and your wrist reflexes in preparation for bounce exercises. And in preface to this, I wanted to mention that one of the key points that I think Freddie made with all his students was that drumming technique is basically requires a marriage between the stick and the hand. And I wrote down what I really kind of understand that all to mean. Basically, the hand gives the stick freedom to bounce by getting out of the stick's way. And in return, the stick is able to train the hand how to move freely. The hand needs to support the stick and give it direction without hindering or limiting the stick's energy or ability or movement. And without the hand, the stick is just a piece of wood. And without the stick, the hand is just a fist. But together, they create this amazing partnership or marriage and make music and express motion. So with that being said, let's get started on the first main lessons here in the finger control book. And basically, I'm on page 5 here. Basically what it's establishing is, you're establishing your fulcrum and hand position. With the left traditional grip, you're holding the stick between the crotch of the thumb. With match grip or the right hand, it's between your forefinger and your thumb, and you're pretty much pinching and holding the stick there. And then the fingers are lightly against the stick, holding it against, I guess, the fleshy part of your palm here. In the left grip, they're just kind of lightly wrapped around the stick. So the stick's in that position. The fingers are in position that they'll need to be eventually for bounce exercises. But these are just, I guess you would call, dead stick exercises. And the first exercises we really do are what Freddie referred to as pickups. And that was a kind of a really appropriate term to use, because again, Freddie was not about getting the stick down to hit the drum, but getting the stick up away from the drum. Letting gravity, letting the weight of the stick drop to the drum, but you're focusing more on getting it up, picking it up, pickups. And one of the keys to this pickup was that as you turn your hand up with each pickup, you're going to squeeze a little bit at your fulcrum and do a little bit of a pinch or a squeeze. And by pinching in your fulcrums as you come up, it helps to kind of snap the stick up a little quicker. So again, the fingers are lightly on the stick, holding it in position. We got our elbows back. We've got a good line down our forearm into the stick, and we do what's called pickups. And in here it gets into some accent exercises. So you accent a little bit more from your fulcrum. Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Then we move into the next phase of this. Now, rather than having the fingers kind of in position, holding the stick against the palm of the hand, now the fingers are going to open as the hands come up. So we're going to now allow the fingers to be a little bit open. Of course, they already are on the left hand. And then as the stick comes down, we're going to close the fingers. So now we're doing, again, the motion that the fingers will be doing when we get into bounce exercises. But this is just training them to move in conjunction or coordinating with the turn of the wrist and the fulcrum. So now the same kind of motion as the pickup, but now as we squeeze up and pinch up, now we're going to let the fingers open up a little bit. See? So they close when we come down, and as we come up, they open up. And this is what he would call down-up exercises. So down, up, down, up. So the fingers are moving as if they will be when we do our bounce exercises, but we're not bouncing yet. But we're letting them now kind of open and close with the stick. And kind of follow the stick more. Right, now they're riding and following the stick. So moving forward from that, we get into the next phase of our down-ups, which are now back to pickups again, but now we're doing pickups where the fingers will open and close. So now we're doing that. See? So now they're pickups, but now when we do our pickups, our fingers are opening and closing with each stroke. And a kind of a side exercise he had here, mainly for the left hand, was, I guess you could call them da-dums. That was kind of what he called them here. He had like a four-step development here. And this is mainly for your, what he calls, or referred to as kick fingers, which are these, mainly these two fingers here on your left hand are considered kick fingers. And so you start in your, with the hand down in a closed position, and then you kick the finger up with your fingers. Then, as you come down, you allow the stick to bounce. So kick them up, and allow the stick to bounce. Kick, bounce. Then, as you come down, you just allow only one bounce, and you get a da-dum. Kick, da-dum. Kick, da-dum. Kick, da-dum. Kick, da-dum. Kick, da-dum. Right? Just that. Then the next step was the same thing, except now you're going to bounce and come back up again. I apologize if I'm a little rusty here. So you got kick, and then da-dum, and then he would move that into consecutive da-dums. And for any of you experienced drummers, you can see where this is leading to. Obviously, this eventually gets you into, that kind of thing. But this is a kind of a constant release, constant motion where you're developing your left hand fingers that way, right? So that's developing your kick fingers. That was a little side here. So progressing on here, now the book gets into, on, what was this, page 10, it gets into alternating sticking. So it's a lot of the same basic thing. We're pretty much now, again, when the stick is up, the fingers are open. As the stick comes down, the fingers close. And these are now exercises to, this is alternating exercises now. Start with both hands up. Once one hand started up, one hand goes down. Idle hand always high. Double stroke exercises it gets into. These are all done as pickups, where you're accenting, from your fulcrums. And as these exercises progress and get faster, you're eventually getting to the point where you're able to, you're developing this kind of simulated bounce. It's not really bouncing the stick, but you're able to, it's just kind of a technique. So if you're kind of almost, allowing the stick to kind of move freely within the hand with the fingers following it, but you're not really relying on the pad to bounce. So I'm on page now, looks like 12. So basically a little faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. See? So as you get faster, so I'm kind of starting to kind of move the stick from my fingers, right? I'm doing this, but I'm not bouncing, am I? So I'm getting that sensation of bouncing. The hand now is starting to get free enough and flexible enough and move with the stick enough that the fingers are all doing what they're supposed to be doing. We haven't gotten into actual just fingers yet. So that's a good start to, I guess, the no bounce exercises from the finger control book. And remember when I talked about the stick and the hand being a marriage, that's an important kind of understanding that we need to kind of really strive for. We don't want to hold the stick. We don't want to prevent the stick from doing what it wants to do. We want to have the stick be able to bounce, because there's a lot of expression and creativity that comes out of that, and a great feel. When you're able to drum and have your sticks moving freely and bouncing in your hand, that's where you start getting that really funky, bouncy feel to your drumming. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you don't have this book, go out and get it. It's a great book. And then stay tuned for lesson 6, where we'll get into now the bounce exercises. Till next time, keep it snappy.